Good afternoon, my lovely butterflies. This is the Awakened Butterfly, and I am back with another video. If this is your first time coming across my channel, please stay for the entire video. If you enjoy the content, please don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel. How is everyone? I pray that you all are having a blessed and amazing afternoon. I missed you all so much. I pray that everyone is continuing to take care of themselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. I really thank you all for all the love and support you have been showing me on the channel. This channel is growing, guys, at a steady pace, and I just can't believe it. I'm very excited, and it just gives me more inspiration to go hard for you guys. And with that being said, we have a very important topic that we're going to discuss today. As you can tell by the title of the video, we will be talking about why generational curses continue to corrupt families generation after generation. And I'm also going to be discussing some ways that you guys can break generational curses in your family. In today's video, guys, I will also be discussing the origin of generational curses and how they are formed. Guys, family curses are dark cycles that are repeated throughout family bloodlines. These vicious cycles are formed by family members who has basked in iniquity and disobeyed God, and by the choice of choosing not to change, and also making the choice of not to repent. The sins are then carried out through their bloodline from generation to generation. Now, guys, as we all know, the first generational curse was spoke about in Genesis 4 when Cain brought his brother Abel to demise. God then placed Cain under a curse by telling Cain that when he labored, his crops would no longer yield, and that he would be a vagabond upon earth. A person who roams from place to place, no money or no occupation. That is pretty much what a vagabond is. He also assured Cain that with the mark that he placed upon him, that if anyone tried to hurt him, that they would receive vengeance 7 times greater. He sent Cain away to Nod, which was the east of Eden. Now, when he sent Cain away, the spirits of anger, guilt, the blood of his brother, from him bringing him to his demise, paranoia, all of these things were dwelling inside of Cain's spirit. And, due to Cain's jealousy towards his brother, is what allowed him, all of those spirits inside of him, they were activated by his anger. And he hurt his brother also out of pride and envy. These spirits dwelt within Cain as well, as he wandered to another city. Now, this is where he started a new family. He started a family of his own. Now, let's rewind it back. Cain's behavior was stemmed from somewhere, right? And this is because he was born out of disobedience. And this is from his parents disobeying God, eating from the tree in the Garden of Eden. And this was derived from being deceived by the serpent, which we all know as Satan. This means that Cain was conceived through deceit, disobedience, lust, control, and manipulation. It is also believed, as mentioned in the book of Enoch, that the daughter of men were possibly the daughters of Cain, which ended up being the fallen angels. And this is what happened when the angels had relations with the daughters of men. And this is how the history of mankind was corrupted with sin. This means that today, every sin and act of unrighteousness is stemmed from our ancestors. And this is why it is so important to break family curses. Now, guys, we're going to discuss some different types of family curses. One of which is violent behavior, having a high temperament, And you know how you may have people in your family and everyone may say, oh, this is the hot-headed one of the family. You know, this is the person with the bad temper. And this comes from a history of family members that display corrupt and destructive behavior towards other people, pets, and property. These family members are often labeled as the crazy one of the family sometimes. You know how people make these jokes about their family members, but you know, we all have these certain situations in our family where we have family members and they may display a certain type of behavior, and we may joke about it and say, oh, well, this came, you know, from so and so, and we might, you know, say that they got it from another person, you know, within the family. Guys, that is an actual, you know, family curse. That is why the behavior, you know, if you say this person got their bad temper from their father, well, this is why. It's through a curse that was never broken, through disobedience. These people may, you know, these family members may even be prescribed to a specific medication in order to calm them down. And in reality, the side effects of these medications usually worsens the behavior once it wears off. Family members sometimes either try to avoid them, avoid that. I'm sorry, can you guys hear me? I was trying to fix my phone. But yeah, a lot of people, guys, you know, they may try to avoid them or make excuses for the behavior by saying, you know, they got a temper like their mother, father, uncle, you know, whatever other family members that they feel that they got it from, because they're displaying the same behavior. Now, if you pay attention, the family is already aware of the curse, but they brush it under the rug because they feel that it stemmed through genetics. And that's the way that the person is naturally born to behave. The behavior, in fact, is formed from a demonic spirit. It's actually stemmed from the spirit of anger that continues to pass through the bloodline because family members have chose to ignore the signs of it being a demonic cycle that needs to be broken. And this is a form of disobedience. Also, many family members don't have an idea that the behavior is even the result of a curse. So, you know, in those cases, it becomes irrelevant. Another generational curse is bad habits. It could be from addictions. You know, it could be from certain type of behaviors. And when it comes to this form of generational curse, it is sometimes looked at as a family tradition, especially when it comes to holiday gatherings, birthdays, and other family functions. And this could be with casual drug and alcohol use. And I'm not just meaning a casual drink, but I'm meaning having several drinks throughout the day. And we all know that this is a possible sign of alcohol abuse. I come from a family history with a history of alcohol abuse, so I pretty much know how this one works. And more than one family member that shares the same interest in a specific drug, like marijuana, you know, it's seen as casual within the family. And when it comes to family tradition, these two factors would be looked at as harmless, meaning alcohol and marijuana, but are actually a spirit of addiction that passes through each generation, in which I do have a family history of marijuana use as well. And these things do pass on from generation to generation. And each generation gets weaker and wiser, meaning the new generations are more advanced, they're quick learners, they're easy to catch on, but their weakness comes from our younger generation being so open to worldly desires, agendas, and trends, and also not fearing or considering the consequences of their actions. And this weakness also comes from the carrying of the past spirits from generations of unbroken cycles. Guys, another generational curse that I would like to discuss is the curse of gossiping and slander. And this type of curse within families is one of the worst. It causes family rivals. It causes things to happen like every time family comes together in these type of situations, there's a conflict. This side of the family arguing with this side of the family, this group of family ganging up, on this one family member. And this is usually the black sheep of the family, which is usually the chosen vessel of the family and the generational curse breaker. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are the generational curse breakers in your family. And this curse is also led by the spirit of control and manipulation. Other family members having personal vendettas with other family members. This could even stem from their parents. It could be sister and brother who could have problems with each other, and they could take it out on their nieces and nephews, the children of their siblings. And it could just go in different ways. It can be mother and daughter, mother and son, father and son. Either, it doesn't matter. The curse usually doesn't choose who it attacks. As long as they're a weak vessel for it to use and carry through, it will. That's why willpower is so important. When you refuse to participate in gossiping and slander with your family members, they sometimes become upset. And I'm pretty sure that you're the one that is the outspoken one in the family, the one that will tell your family members, hey, I'm not going to talk about this family member. If I can't help them, I'm not going to discuss them behind their back. And since the family is so used to doing these type of things, when you don't participate, they look at you as the enemy. And then they begin to try to team up on you. But this doesn't faze you, because you are indeed the chosen one and the generational curse breaker of your family. And that is why you are indeed listening to this video today. Because after listening to this video, if not already, you will begin to break curses in your family. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you already are. And that's why you're probably going through things within your family. Guys, gluttony is also a family mishap that continues throughout generations, because this is something that can cause many to be overeaters and to also form a family history of obesity. Not only in the area of food. This type of generational curse can cause greed for money or other material possessions, to the point where illegal activities have been committed by family members, like scamming, hacking, criminal activities such as theft and robbery. And it also creates a spirit of selfishness, which can also form a history of opportunists, people taking advantage of others for their own personal gains. And this is also how narcissism is formed within families. Another generational curse could be physical illnesses, which can come through being hereditary, like high blood pressure, diabetes, heart issues, things like that. Also, things such as smoking, stress, addiction, and high blood pressure cannot be excluded when talking about these type of illnesses, although they carry through the bloodline, because all of these factors that I mentioned can be solved. You can solve a smoking problem. You can elevate your blood pressure by eating correctly, even with diabetes and your heart issues. a lot of the things that we put into our bodies can affect a lot of the illnesses that we encounter in our lives. Now, when it comes to disobedience, many family members settle for their situation and sum it up as something they're supposed to deal with due to hereditary factors. Well, I knew things such as, well, I knew I was going to have high blood pressure because my mother or my grandmother had high blood pressure. You know, this is just an example of someone with disobedience would think. This is how they would think, and they would continue to eat unhealthy. They would continue to not create exercise routine, and they would just continue to deal with the illness. And then it's only going to pass on to someone else. This is spiritual also, guys. This is not just physical. A person physically breaking these curses will spiritually eliminate these spirits from further tormenting families. When they choose not to follow a healthy diet and eliminate bad habits like smoking, you know, it can also further the curse as well. And speaking of disobedience, this curse factor has been the main cause of many families still suffering from misfortunate cycles within their bloodline. And I'm talking about disobedience. Disobedience is the main factor of all aspects that contributes to the continuance of generational curses within families. Also, the history of unruly and rebellious children and teens stems from disobedience. This is why it is important to teach our children the value of respecting themselves as well as others. The importance of obeying their parents and listening to their instructions is very important, because children's behavior does stem from the home. And a lot of the times, I hate to say this, this is not being funny. A lot of parents give their children a lot of freedom, you know, letting them act the way they want to. And that's okay, but only to a certain extent. Children should not be allowed to do whatever they want to do. I want to read this to you guys. Proverbs chapter 1, 8-9. It says, "My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother, for they shall be an ornament of grace unto the head and chains." It is very important that we teach our children the importance of obeying their parents. Many of us have endured a lot in life simply by not obeying our parents, because around the same stage in their life, they probably disobeyed their parents. Teaching our children obedience and respect starts first with our actions and consistent work, correcting them when they display immoral behavior. We can't look over it. Disobedience also is what started the family history of family members getting involved in occult organizations, street gangs, and other demonic groups. And this is another form of family curse that are, you know, these are another forms of family curses that are considered more of a tradition to many families. Other than people, a lot of people seeing, let's say for instance, you have someone that is a leader of an occult group. One of their main dreams is to have a younger family member to be recruited. Knowing the dark things that are taking places within these organizations behind closed doors. Knowing the suffering that they've even had to endure in order to reach certain levels within these organizations. And they're so proud to recruit younger family members into this cycle of torture and darkness. Family curses that are viewed as traditions are the most corrupt because they are seen as normal and necessary for many families. Head occult leaders and head gang leaders also stress the importance of recruiting other close family members, especially with men and their sons, their grandsons, and their nephews. Groups like the Freemasonry, where they take pride in ruining their family bloodline with sorcery and evil. Men are not the only recruiters, guys. Eastern Stars, which are considered women Freemasons, also are known for recruiting their daughters, granddaughters, and nieces. This is how a bloodline of witches and warlocks are continued through ancestral generations. This is also how the growth of various street gangs and violence continues to corrupt our youth and communities. Young men and women are being initiated into street gangs not only by their peers, but by formal gang affiliated and connected family members. And when I say affiliated, I'm meaning they're so close to these gangs that it's like they're almost in the gang themselves. And when I say connected, I mean they're actually in the gang and they're considered the OGs and they're recruiting younger members. And a lot of these members are within their families. Moms, dads, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, and even grandparents. It's that deep, guys. It is that deep. And a lot of people wouldn't think that, because I know a lot of people, when you think about gangs, you automatically think about the youth, right? And this is because the youth is constantly being recruited. But it stems from somewhere, guys. And this is because a lot of the older members are not only connected through being within the gang, but they're connected through blood relation. Exodus 34, verse 7 says, keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin, and that will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children and upon the children's children unto the third and to the fourth generation. The Most High already prophesied that these generational curses would take place within family bloodlines from generation to generation. And this is why the Most High is so quick to forgive our iniquities and our transgressions and our sins. Because he wants us to come to him. He is the truth and the life, and he is the key to breaking these generational curses. Prayer is stronger than anything. Most definitely. We are responsible for breaking the curses within our bloodline. And in these last days, God's chosen, you are the generational curse breakers. Your family knows this. And they're probably giving you problems at this time. And it's not them, guys. It is the spirits within them that are trying to keep a strong hold on them. They're not wanting to break these curses within your family. These demons are wanting to stay attached and to continue to torment your family for generations and continuously. The spirits within them are irritated with you because you are eliminating the generational weapons that are being formed against you. Butterflies, for any of you who are wondering how you living upright, doing the right thing will break curses, just know this: God will use your obedience to deliver someone else. Chosen ones, God is using you to break generational curses. You giving up a bad habit, making better choices within your diet, within the way you think, within the way you just overall live your life, will cause a spiritual breakthrough within your family, guys. I promise you. You'll give up a habit one day. You may turn around and see another one of your family members say, well, I've decided to change my diet. I'm giving up, continuously eating red meat, fried foods. I'm about to start eating more fruits and vegetables, working out. Don't be surprised, guys. Don't be shocked when you give up smoking and then you turn around and one of your family members say, well, I gave up smoking last week and, I'm beginning to feel better than ever. It was because of you guys. You have the strong generational curse-breaking spirit within you. You were chosen for the job. Someone else in your family gains strength to do the same after you break those curses, and so forth and so on. And this is how positive bloodline patterns and cycles are created. Now, with that being said, butterflies, let's talk about some things that we can do to eliminate generational curses. Number one, acknowledging the negative cycles and habits and actions within your family. Recognizing and acknowledging the cycles within your family not only lets you know what cycles need to be broken, but it lets you know what demonic spirits you are dealing with and how to pray them off. Like if you notice the cycle of addiction, or if you notice the cycle of mental illness or anything like that, violent temper, you would know what spirits to pray against pertaining to that particular curse. Another thing that you can do, guys, is talk to your parents, your guardian, and other older family members like your aunts, uncles, and grandparents about some things that they may have struggled with in their childhood. Talk to them about the generational curses that you recognize that are taking place within your family. Let them know that you notice the demonic spirits that are continuously tormenting the family and how important it is to eliminate them for the sake of existing and future family members to come. Many are not going to agree with you, but make sure you continue to stand your ground, guys. And another thing, never let anyone manipulate you and to try and make you back down when you know you're doing something right. Because the fact that you're standing up for something right is a sign that the Holy Spirit is moving and working within you, and you are being used to carry out a specific mission at that time. Guys, it's all on you. If they chose not to participate, don't be discouraged. It probably isn't meant for them to discern and spiritually tackle the situation. But you were chosen for the mission. So if they walk away, continue to walk alone. And you continue to walk upright so you can break those curses for generations to come. Fast, pray, and stay consistent. These are other factors that you can use to break generational curses. Use these factors in your walk with God. Doing all you can to let go of bad habits and replacing them with good ones. You hold the light, chosen ones. Never underestimate how bright your light shines and how much it inspires others. Because it does. I want you guys to always know that. Guys, I love you guys so much. You just don't know how important you are to me. How important it is for me to connect with you, to reach out to you, and to deliver messages to you from the Most High God. It really means a lot. And like I said, a lot of these messages are things that you've already went through, and it's confirmation for many. And with that being said, I pray that this message resonates with someone and reaches out to who it needs to reach out to. I have a lot of content coming for you guys. I'm working on some things, so stay tuned for that. With that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this video, but I want you guys to know one thing. During this season, you are about to receive some serious downloads. Many of you are about to start receiving downloads, and many of you are about to start becoming awakened to some gifts that you did not know that you had. Trust your gut, trust your intuition, and most importantly, trust God. And let Him lead you into your purpose and your calling. And let nothing or no one distract you, okay, butterflies? I love you so much. Until the next video, peace and blessings. Mwah.